I'm George McCraney, DUI, criminal offense, and serious injury attorney with offices in Douglas and Valdosta, Georgia. Today I wanted to talk about the Georgia Southern quarterback who was arrested in South Carolina for possession of cocaine. And it turns out, it wasn't cocaine, it was bird poop. All right? Now, I want to tell you, this happens all the time. There's no results that are out there. There's no studies that show how these field tests are inaccurate. All right, it just doesn't show. We don't have those numbers. But here's what you need to know. Now, I watched the video. I watched him, and here's what happened. The quarterback, they turn on the blue lights behind him. He's driving along. He didn't feel like he was safe in the area where they were going to stop him. He really didn't know who was stopping him. And when I watched that video, he calls 911. He tells them who he is, where he is, that he doesn't feel safe in that area, and he's not trying to elude law enforcement. He's just going to go to a safe area and stop. You know, that's a great thing that he did. That's very, very smart. Now, I'm going to say good job, quarterback. All right? Good job. Because the quarterback did exactly what I advised my oldest daughter and my wife to do. Now, I've given them this advice for years. If they don't know who's stopping them because you can't see behind you to see who it is, we've had a lot of cases in our area here in South Georgia where there's been people that aren't law enforcement that have blue lights pulling people over, okay? So if you don't know who's stopping you, if you don't feel like you're in a safe area, then do what I advise my wife and daughter. Call 911, tell them who you are, tell them where you are, tell them what's happening, that you don't feel safe in that area, and that you're not trying to outrun the law enforcement or anything like that. You're just going to go to a safe area and then stop. That's perfect. Now, about the South Carolina officer, the officer, once he gets the quarterback out of the car, he tries to get the quarterback to admit, that it's cocaine that he found on the windshield and down in the front where his windshield wipers are, or confess that it's cocaine. And he found this stuff on the hood and on the windshield. The quarterback did the right thing. He denied it was cocaine. He says it wasn't cocaine. He didn't know anything about any cocaine. He explained what it was. He explained that it was bird poop. All right? He didn't use exactly the words bird poop a couple times. Later on he did, but he explained it's bird poop. He said, I tried to clean my windshield off, wouldn't come off. Couldn't get all this stuff off. He said, I knew it was there, but it's not cocaine, it's bird poop. Well, why did the officer think it was cocaine? Because the officer used a drug field testing kit. All right? Now, some of these kits cost $2. I mean, literally. I mean, this stuff is designed back in the 70s, some of it. Now, I don't know exactly which testing kit the officer used. One of the most common drug testing kits has been around since the early mid 1970s. Okay, and basically what it is it's a chemical in a vial that turns blue if it's been exposed to cocaine. All right, well that sounds like it's a pretty good test. The tube turns blue, must be cocaine. The problem is that it also turns blue when it's exposed to 80, right? Not 8, 80 different compounds, including some prescription medications and also common household cleaners. So when he said he tried to clean it off of his windshield using one of the wipes or one of those squeegees with the blue liquid in it at the gas station, could be one of the compounds that caused the problem. But that's the problem. They're not exactly specific for cocaine or a specific drug. The problem is like I say, in this case of this, one of the most common ones, 80 different compounds can cause a false positive. All right. Now, approximately 1.2 million people are charged with illegal drug possession every year in the United States. And approximately 100,000 of those people plead guilty, all right, based solely on field tests, not on laboratory results, but field tests. So let's say just 10% of those cases were bad tests, like the quarterback's test was. Said it was cocaine, turns out it was bird poop. Okay? That's 10,000 people that are entering guilty pleas when they shouldn't, when they're not guilty. okay? Now, there's no established error rates for drug field testing kits, all right? Now, remember, some of these testing kits were designed when President Nixon was in office, okay? Now, one of the drug testing companies has added a warning on its packaging, and it says all test results must be confirmed by an approved analytical laboratory. Tell you what, that's exactly what saved our Statesboro quarterback. That's exactly what saved him, because when the sample was sent to the lab and it came back bird poop. No cocaine, charges dropped. All right? Now, the quarterback did the right thing. The quarterback, first off, didn't allow himself to be bullied, all right, or coerced into saying, okay, I'm telling you a story, it's really cocaine, you gonna let me go? He didn't fall for that. All right, he got an experienced criminal defense attorney to represent him and to protect him in this process. He didn't just say, law enforcement says it's cocaine, must be cocaine, I gotta go plead guilty. He didn't do that. He got an experienced attorney to represent him and to protect him. All right, that's extremely smart on his part. Now, he did what I have told my wife and my daughter to do for years. If they don't know who's pulling them over, if they don't feel safe in that area where they're being stopped, especially at nighttime, this kind of thing, call 911, tell them who you are, where you are, what's happening, and that you don't feel safe in that area. All right, for whatever reason, you don't know who's stopping you, you don't feel safe, you're not trying to elude law enforcement. If it is law enforcement that's behind you, you're just simply going to a safe area and then we'll stop. Most officers would understand that happening. Most good officers, that's my opinion. Now, if you've got a question about this, this quarterback did the right thing. He stood his ground, he didn't let them bully him, and he was smart enough to get that attorney to represent him and to defend him. Because a lot of people will plead guilty and it turns out that it's a bad drug test, okay? And these are serious charges. Now, he was charged in South Carolina, but if you're charged here in Georgia, if he entered a guilty plea to this, it would never come off of his criminal history. It will be on there for the rest of his life. Same thing with DUIs, possession of marijuana charges, anything like that, much less a felony charge like this is in Georgia. Okay, so if you enter a guilty plea, it will never come off your criminal record. That's how serious it is here in Georgia. Now, if you've got a question about a DUI criminal case or you've been injured in a serious accident, feel free to give us a call. You can reach us at 833-927-6227, or you can go online to McCraney Law Firm or on YouTube. We've got a lot of videos on both of those that explain a lot of different issues in Georgia, goes over a lot of different questions people have. And I like to get this information out to folks. And as a matter of fact, we've got 27 of my latest books, which is The Truth About Your Georgia Criminal Case. And that book that I've written, I wrote it for my clients so it explains to them the whole process. Everything that you need to know about a criminal case from beginning to end. Now, I've got 27. I think the publisher has 27 of those left. If you'd like a copy, absolutely free. We'll send it to you because I want to educate as many people as I can about how things work in Georgia and any of Georgia's special laws that we have. So if you'd like a free copy, feel free to give us a call. You can reach us at 833-927-6227, and we'll be glad to send that out to you absolutely free. So if you have any questions about a DUI criminal case, just give us a call. We'll be glad to help you. Thank y'all.